Hot mic, turn the mic on.
We'll reserve judgment till all the facts are in.
How come there's no supply chain problem with COVID? COVID virus has no problem.
Now there's a story.
It can make it anywhere. Maybe we need to talk with virus about
How are you getting that COVID around?
Yeah.
Because I mean, somebody's doing this on purpose, right? This COVID spread, there's a conspiracy somewhere.
But we need, the other stuff, like your sachet, that is the COVID virus get a, or you.
Use a nice honorary sachet.
That 2 out of 3 bars thing. Like it's too high up in battery to replace it. Yeah. And if it goes down to 1 bar, halfway through this, I'll start to panic.
I always worry, just because my receiver's not nearly as good as the old ones.
But I hate to replace it when it's 2/3 of the way. Oh.
But I also figure, I'm not the one buying batteries.
True.
And they, well, they did buy a cheaper receiver here, so.
So it might not last as long?
I do what I can do.
Right.
Yeah, when the battery gets too low, it starts getting a little staticky.
Gotcha.
Morning?
Good morning. St. Louis County is poised to receive $74 million from state ARPA funds that will directly improve the lives of families with more funding for public safety, economic development, higher education, job training, and access to mental health services. Bipartisan support in Jefferson City made this possible. I appreciate our state legislators listening to my office and based on input from the community. And here's a breakdown of what we'll receive from the state's American Rescue Plan Act funds. The UMSL campus of the future project will receive $40 million. This mixed-use development includes healthcare, a grocery store, and job training. This was a cooperative effort we supported, led by the leadership of UMSL. And this project will provide a more integrated campus into North County and expand opportunities to healthy food, healthcare, and job readiness. Public safety in St. Louis County will get a big boost, with $23 million going to a new regional intelligence and information center, a new consolidated property control facility, and a training facility and range for law enforcement. Every resident and business wants a safe community, and this infusion of cash will help keep our police department well-trained with the proper tools to help do their job effectively. The vacant Jamestown Mall has been a challenge for more than a decade, attracting blight but not much else. The $6 million from the state will allow us to demolish the mall and clean up almost 30 acres of prime land in North County. And this project's been a priority of mine for years, and I appreciate Councilwoman Shalonda Webb pushing to get this project funded. The fourth project to get a boost is the St. Louis Metropolitan Employment and Training Center in Wellston. The state funds include $4 million for the planning, renovation, and expansion of the center. The Med Center, as it is commonly known, connects residents, including youth, to job training and employment, and works with employers to diversify their workforce. This was a collaboration with the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership. Thank you to Rodney Krim and his team. Another $1.2 million will go to support the Family Forward campus in unincorporated St. Louis County. And this campus will become a regional hub and training center to provide services to children and families who are victims of abuse. The campus will also expand access to services for children and families who are victims of severe trauma. Based on resident input at town halls and surveys, we shared those priorities with our state legislators. I want to give special mention to our four specifically state legislators, Senator Brian Williams, Senator Leakin Huff, House Floor Leader Dean Plocker, and House Budget Chair Cody Smith. Political differences were set aside to get these federal relief funds into communities where they're needed the most. And thank you to Governor Parson for approving this funding by signing the budget into law last week. All these projects require some kind of local funding match, and like the state, the county received ARPA funds as well. The County Council will meet on Saturday to go through a long list of items they'd like the money to go toward. The County Council has already committed local matches to the public safety improvements and to the demolition of Jamestown Mall. And the UMSL campus project, the Met Center, and Family Forward have all been identified by my office as priority projects for the county's ARPA funds, and the state agreed. These projects have the ability to provide more access to job training programs, to elevate and expand access to higher education, and extend the reach of critical mental health services for children and families. Before closing, I'd like to remind our residents that the county's cooling shelter opened yesterday and will remain open through September 9th. The shelter is open 24 hours, 7 days a week. And the shelter is located at the Salvation Army's Family Haven, 10740 Page Avenue. The cooling shelter provides hot meals, laundry, and case management services. Please call the United Way at 211 for more information on staying at the shelter. An excessive heat warning is now in effect for the next 2 days. Among the most vulnerable to extreme heat are infants and young children, those who are 65 and older, people who work outdoors, and those with pre-existing medical conditions. So here are some tips to stay safe during the current heat wave. If your home does not have air conditioning, go to a shopping mall or public library, or find a cooling center by calling the United Way hotline at 211. Electric fans alone will not prevent heat-related illness. Taking a cool shower or bath, or moving to an air-conditioned place is a much better way to cool off. Do not leave children or pets in cars. Cars can quickly heat up to dangerous temperatures, even with the window open. While anyone left in a parked car is at risk, children are especially at risk of heat stroke or dying. Keep your pets hydrated, provide plenty of fresh water for your pets, and leave the water in shady areas. Avoid hot and heavy meals because they can also add heat to your body. And don't wait until you're thirsty to drink water. Stay away from very sugary or alcoholic drinks which cause you to lose more body fluid. Wear lightweight, light-colored, loose-fitting clothing. And limit outdoor activity to the morning or evening hours. And rest often in shady areas so your body has a chance to recover. That includes cutting down on outdoor exercise during the heat. If exertion makes your heart pound and leaves you gasping for air, stop all activity immediately. Sunburn affects your body's ability to cool down and can make you dehydrated. And if you must go outdoors, wear a wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses. Apply sunscreen of SPF 15 or higher 30 minutes prior to going out. We know some residents are hesitant to run their air conditioners because of concern about utility bills. Through the county's Emergency Rental Assistance Program, utility bill help is available. For more information on that program, please call 855-582-3973 or visit www.stlewiscountymo.gov. For those who want to get out of the house and find a cool, family-friendly activity, the county's public pools are open. They're at North County Recreation Complex, the Pavilion at Levy, St. Vincent's Community Center, and the Kennedy Recreation Complex. Please check with the county's website for pool hours. During this prolonged heat wave, please check on your neighbors and your loved ones. This is proving to be a long, hot summer. Thank you, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Dr. Page, would you care to comment on what happened with Calvin Harris?
So the question is about my former chief of staff. I think everyone knows by now that there was an inappropriate act in a county building. That was wrong. A video was made that was wrong, and the video was distributed, and that was wrong. The Highway Patrol is investigating. They'll determine what crimes were committed, and we'll wait for their report.
With that and the other indictments, what would you like to say this morning to your critics who might be saying this is just another thing?
So the question is about my critics. My critics have been going strong since before the last election and haven't really stopped, and that's what the loyal opposition does. I don't expect it to stop. I expect criticism every week, sometimes every day, sometimes every hour, and that's where we are in politics in our community, in our country. As for this current event, we need to wait for the investigation to tell us what happened. Yes?
Joe Allen, St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Can you tell me when, on what date did Calvin Harris tell you that he was going to resign?
So as on Wednesday, the Highway Patrol came to the 9th floor to see Calvin Harris. And as soon as they left, I asked Cal what was up. He told me there was a video and he would be resigning.
The statement then that came from your office attributed his resignation to an illness in the family. Before that statement came out, you're saying he had already told you that there was a videotape?
I'll review that for you again. I want to recognize, first of all, that there is an ongoing investigation, and I want to limit my comments until that investigation is over. As for his statement, that is his statement. That's not my statement. That's his statement.
It was provided to us by your office.
Right. When you asked for my resignation letter, you asked for his resignation letter, when your institution, your newspaper asked for the resignation letter, I gave it to you. As for what happened is I asked Cal, why was the Highway Patrol here? He said there was a video, and I'm resigning. I said, I accept your resignation, send us an email. 30 minutes later, I got his email. He left, and we turned off his badge, and that was it.
You, in essence, though, knew there was something not included in his statement, that what he told you is the reason he was quitting was because there was a video. The statement that came out said he was quitting because of a family illness. There seems to be a discrepancy there as to the reason you knew why he was leaving as opposed to what your office shared with us.
So I believe your question is about why I am not more involved in exposing what's happening with the investigation. And my answer is I'm not going to interfere with the investigation. The investigation is going to move forward, and I was asked for his resignation letter, and the investigation would proceed, and as it proceeds, we'll know more about what happened.
Have you been interviewed by Missouri Highway Patrol or any other law enforcement?
So the question is about whether or not I've been interviewed by law enforcement or the Highway Patrol. No, I haven't. I don't know that anyone on my office has been interviewed. This is an incident that is between my former employee and the Highway Patrol and everyone else who is involved with handling that tape.
Do you know what hours did it occur? During work hours, after work hours?
So I don't know anything about this video, and I appreciate your persistence, but I would direct you to the Highway Patrol because I've told you what I know.
The first statements that came out seemed to be that we were talking about political fighting, and it is political season. The statements that we received, the first statement we received seemed more concerned with how the tape got shared than with the fact that this act was recorded in a county government office by the second in command.
So Joe, I'll tell you again, this act was wrong, recording it was wrong, distributing the video was wrong, and the Highway Patrol will tell us what crimes were committed. You are correct. My political opponents are as intensely focused on this as they have been focused on everything else that's happened between now and before the last election. And that's to be expected in our community and our country. In the meantime, we have a government to run. We have a heat wave. People's lives are threatened by this heat wave, and that's what I'm here to talk about today. We have $74 million coming from our state legislators, Democrats and Republicans, and I'm here to thank them for that money because I'll be talking to them next year about sending more resources to St. Louis County. And this is an important investment in public safety and workforce development and economic development. My political opponents will always have a criticism, and it's up to you and everyone in the community to dig through that and decide what's important.
One final question, any timeline on replacing Mr. Harris as Chief of Staff?
I'm confident in the folks I have in place right now, and we'll keep things going. We'll search for a new Chief of Staff. There's no urgency. We will continue to make government work. We will continue to look out for the welfare and the health of everyone in St. Louis County, and we've got a pretty good team.
It's one of the most highest paid county positions, Chief of Staff, second in command, and there's no urgency to fill that position?
There are many high-paid positions. For a year, we did not have a Chief of Staff. Several times over the years, we haven't had a Chief of Staff, no matter who is county executive. It's an important role. It depends on the structure of government, and you know, I'm very confident in the team I have, and we'll continue to make things run.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.